you've got your topper, then you measure your topper and cut your backing to fit, plus 4.5 inches around the border to fold over.
You want about 4.5 inches for each end, so that's about an extra 8 or 10 inches
around.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to, you could piece the strip if it weren't.
Your sides, when you're doing your sides, you can you gotta have your top and your back the same width. Mm-hmm. And you can turn it in just like this on each piece and stitch it down the sides, see? But then on the ends, I always have my ends to where, about 4.5 inches too, and let the end overlap like that. Mm-hmm. And turn it under and stitch it.
And just top stitch it all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just a camp blanket. It's
right.
Nothing. But your ends can be even. They don't need to have the border. The sides.
No.
So the sides, you just fold it under and just top stitch the whole thing.
Put the sides together like this,
your top and your bottom, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then just top stitch it.
Now you got a filler, and you want to use that woven type of filler.
Right, like the cotton woven.
Yeah.
But the top and the bottom of the blanket here that's where you can do your 4.5 inch extra.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that gives you a 4.5 inch border, or it gives you a 2.5 inch border because you're folding it?
Well, whichever you cut it.
Okay.
I cut mine for 4.5 because that means that you cut your backing, say 8 inches longer than the 2.5 yards.
And that's because it's easier to get the length than it is the width.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to add any more in width if you don't have to.
Right. Because it's harder to add the width than it is to add the length.
Well, it isn't harder. It's just it's just making your back whatever. If you want it to come up all the way around, just add about 8 inches all the way around on your. Sometimes I bring my back up over the top of the front.
Right.
Either way is okay, whichever you got the most fabric for. But that's
good to remember, though, is you buy your 5 yards and you do 2.5 with an open width and then the half width lengthwise.
You would,
which
if you were
gives
going
you the full.
have the width. If you were going to have your back, we'll say, to come out for an extra 4 inches left over the top, you'd need to cut the piece you sewed together.
This extra piece.
Instead of splitting it down the middle, if you want your back to be wider to where you can bring it up and stitch it down,
Then you leave this second width of fabric open full.
You would cut it about...
Okay, I see.
About like this.
Right.
And sew that on, and then that would give you your extra 4 inches on each side.
Right.
See?
So you have one full width of fabric, and then instead of 1/2 a width of fabric, it would be more like 3/4 of a width.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that way you could have 4 full borders instead of just a top and a bottom.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And you could use this out here if you're making different fabrics that you're sewing together. You can use a 9 or a 11 or 12 inch block, whichever you'd want.
Right.
So cut this. If you're going to do another quilt with, we'll say, a 9 inch square instead of 6 inch, cut 9 inches here when you're doing your back, so that you'd have this piece instead of...
You can use the full piece of your scrap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. These two are pretty together with the yellow.
The yellow, yeah.
Well, it's a bright yellow, isn't it?
Even that one and this one here, either one of those is real cute.
Uh-huh.
Those are cute.